back at it again, bro. We finally back again, bro. I feel like I'm in my element again. So let's get into this. Title of the video is called "When Social Workers Go Wrong." Let's get into it. It's from the GOAT, When They Will Kill You. So it's gonna be some scary shit.
6. Latoshia Shunta Daniels.
Right.
At about 9:30 p.m. on April the 4th of 2019, Arkansas woman Latoshia Shunta Daniels arrived at an apartment in Collierville, Tennessee, belonging to Broads and Tabitha Perry. The latter, who was home alone at the time, allowed 39-year-old Daniels, whom she and her husband had known when they lived in Little Rock, inside. The two women talked until Broads, the pastor at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church in Memphis, came home about a half an hour later. Shortly thereafter, Daniels pulled out a gun and shot the man multiple times in the head and torso, repeatedly shouting, "You broke my heart." According to the resulting police report, the armed woman then shot Tabitha in the shoulder after she'd knelt down beside her husband. Collierville police officers arrived at the scene at about 10:30 p.m., at which point they reportedly ordered Daniels to drop her weapon. When she refused to comply, she was shot with a beanbag shotgun and taken into police custody. The two victims were taken to Regional One Health Medical Center in Memphis, where Broads succumbed to his injuries the following morning. Tabitha ultimately survived the incident and was released from the hospital within a few days. Daniels, a social worker from Little Rock, was consequently charged with first-degree murder, attempted murder, assault on a police officer, escape.
Police officer, first-degree murder, yeah. That's life in prison, right? That's life in prison, or God.
And resisting arrest. Number 5.
So that's life in prison.
Berry. Englishwoman Nicole Berry spent a night out with her boyfriend in March of 2019 in order to celebrate her new job as a mental health social worker at a psychiatric unit in the Greater Manchester area. After going to a restaurant in the city centre, Berry's partner, later named as Justin Henry, reportedly bought her bottles of vodka as a congratulatory gift. Then in the early hours of the following morning, the couple got into an altercation with an individual at the Revolution Bar in the Deansgate Locks district. While waiting for a taxi to drive them home, Henry began arguing with Paul Dan, who was reportedly with around 12
the blocky buildings look like
other people, celebrating one of the group members' 21st birthday. Henry allegedly called Dan a derogatory name, at which point the two got into each other's faces, threatening violence. Dan pushed the man to the ground, and he was then punched and kicked repeatedly by several members of the other group. Upon witnessing her boyfriend under attack, 25-year-old Berry reportedly took the 2 bottles of vodka she'd been given and smashed them over Dan's head. Blood began pouring from the latter's scalp, and he was ultimately taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. Although he was discharged shortly thereafter, Dan later revealed that he began suffering from regular migraine headaches in the wake of the incident. Berry was consequently arrested and charged with causing grievous bodily harm. She was also reportedly suspended from her job as a social worker, pending a disciplinary investigation into the matter. Following a trial at Manchester Crown Court, Berry was spared jail time, but she was ordered to complete 100 hours of unpaid community service, 15 rehabilitation requirement days, and a 60-day alcohol monitoring program. Number 4. Alexander Averill. On October the 3rd of 2019, officers with the Pitt County Sheriff's Office in North Carolina initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle being operated by Alexander Averill. It was reported that at the time, the 29-year-old man was driving an official government-issued car in his capacity as a social worker with the United States Department of Veteran Affairs.
Why pausing so much?
During the course of the traffic stop, officers found illegal substances and drug paraphernalia in the vehicle, and the man was thus taken into custody on possession charges. Averill's arrest marked the culmination of a 4-month joint investigation by the Pitt County Special Operations Unit and the VA's Office of the Inspector General. The official probe had been set into motion after officials began to suspect that the social worker had been using government time and the government vehicle to possess and transport illegal narcotics, a suspicion proven to be correct by the events of October the 3rd. 2 months later, investigators determined that Averill had also been using his government-issued car for personal use and had driven it to several unauthorized locations in North Carolina and Virginia. He consequently faced 7 felony counts of embezzlement, in addition to the drug possession charges. Number 3. Chelsea Gray. In an Associated Press article published on April the 9th of 2019, it was reported that Iowa social worker Chelsea Gray had been taken into police custody for delivering false testimony before a judge. 34-year-old Gray, a Lawler resident, had reportedly been assigned as the case manager when the Department of Human Services sought to remove 4 northern Iowa children from their biological parents for reasons that were left unreported. As case manager, the woman was tasked with providing social services to both the children and their parents, as well as evaluating any potential mental health or substance abuse issues, among other duties. Following a court hearing on the case, Judge Greg Rosenblatt ruled that the parents involved be stripped of their rights. He credited Gray's testimony in which she recommended that the children be other duties. Following a court hearing on the case, Judge Greg Rosenblatt ruled that the parents involved be stripped of their rights. He credited Gray's testimony in which she recommended that the children be placed in foster care as being credible, unbiased, and persuasive. However, it later emerged that the social worker had allegedly committed perjury. According to affidavits signed by the Division of Criminal Investigation, Gray falsely testified that she'd spoken directly with the children's teachers about academic and social concerns at school. She also reportedly claimed to have visited the kids at least once per month per Iowa code, which was also determined to have been untrue. Upon her arrest, she was formally charged with 3 counts of perjury and booked at the Cerro Gordo County Jail in Mason City. In October of 2019, Gray entered an Alford plea, accepting the punishment associated with her charges while officially maintaining her innocence. She was consequently sentenced to 730 days of probation in order to pay a $750 civil penalty.
I write a lot of essays for school, but I also write sales descriptions for my Etsy shop.
I use Grammarly on my work emails and also on my cooking blog.
Grammarly is a game changer for me at work.
Today's topic was requested by Instagram followers Kaylee Wilson 49 and Larchmont 30. If you have any other topics you'd
like teachers, people who just help people with other shit, you know what I'm saying?
like to learn about, subscribe and let us.
I don't know what a social worker is. I'm low-key forgetting shit. Hold on, let me look it up. What is a social worker? Because I low-key kind of forgot. A social... Yeah. So would therapy be social work or something like that? Because I don't really know like that. I don't know jobs at all. So I'm kind of confused.
Know in the comment section below or follow us on Instagram and reach out to us there. Number 2. Samantha Hamer. Wisconsin State Senator Tim Carpenter was attacked during the chaotic protests and riots that unfolded on the streets of downtown Madison on June the 23rd of 2020. During the course of the night, rioters toppled statues erected outside the state capitol, damaged the Capitol building itself, and even tossed a Molotov cocktail into a county building that housed the 911 dispatch center. 60-year-old Carpenter began filming the group's destructive behavior with his cell phone, prompting them to approach him. In the video footage captured by the senator, 2 women were shown charging towards him and grabbing his phone. Carpenter was then punched and kicked multiple times by 8 to 10 people, resulting in him reportedly suffering a broken nose and a concussion. Following a month-long investigation by Madison police, the women in the video were identified as 26-year-old Samantha Hamer and Karida O'Reilly, aged 33. The former, a social worker for the Mount Horeb School District, turned herself into the authorities in July of 2020. As did O'Reilly. Hamer was suspended from her position without pay following the incident, and both suspects were charged with felony substantial battery as a party to a crime. Following their trial, O'Reilly was ultimately acquitted of the offense, while Hamer accepted a plea deal that lessened her charge to disorderly conduct.
I'm not even paying
Number 1. Robert Riley Saunders. From 2001 to 2018, Canadian man Robert Riley Saunders served as a social worker for British Columbia's Ministry of Children and Family Development. The organization first began to detect financial irregularities involving Saunders in 2017, prompting an official investigation into the matter by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Saunders was ultimately terminated from his position in 2018, and about 2 years later, investigators wrapped up their probe into his financial dealings during his tenure as a government worker. It was determined that the man had defrauded at least 102 of his former clients, 85 of whom were identified as Indigenous youth. As was detailed in more than a dozen civil lawsuits filed by the victims, Saunders had moved many of his clients out of stable homes and into independent living situations, after which he would set up joint bank accounts to siphon money from them that had originally been
I can't really add much to this video though, because this shit is so clean, and yet it's like a film. It's like a movie, my nigga. It's like a whole ass fucking
provided by the ministry. In total, the man had misappropriated more than $460,000 from the teens entrusted to his care, and several of the victims claimed to have been left homeless as a consequence of the fraud. It subsequently emerged that Saunders had falsified his professional qualifications prior to being hired by the ministry back in 1996. Court records indicated that he'd actually used a fake Bachelor of Social Work degree, purportedly from the University of Manitoba, as part of his original employment applications. The ministry ultimately reached a multi-million-dollar settlement agreement with the social workers' victims that awarded each of them between $25,000 and $250,000. In July of 2022, the CBC reported that Saunders, who faced criminal charges of fraud, breach of trust, and forgery, had been sentenced to 5 years in prison for his elaborate scheme. Thanks for watching. Would you rather be the
that was unpleasant. I don't know. But you know what? A nigga got. I got something special to react to. I'm looking for someone.
a therapist at a maximum security prison for a week, or drive a minivan full of preschool children on a cross?
Would you rather be at a therapist at a maximum security prison for a week, or drive a minivan full of school children on a cross-country road trip? I'm keeping, you know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it real. I'd rather just do the prisoners. I'd rather talk to the prisoners than be with the little niggas, bro, because I cannot stand. I could not be with a bunch of little, like, kindergartners and shit for a month. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest, bro. A nigga just being honest. A nigga just being honest. You know what I'm saying? Let me check if I'm live on Twitch right now. I'm trying to see if I'm at least live on some shit. Am I live or nah? A part of me thinks I'm bullshitting, like I'm not live. Because I want you niggas... Like, I just want niggas to see some shit, you feel me? So hold on. On my page. Let me go to my page real quick and see if I'm live or not. 7 days until the worldwide celebration. A nigga cannot wait, bro. That shit gonna be fire. I'm seeing if I'm live. It says I'm offline. How? How am I offline? What do you mean? Hold on. Give me a sec. I gotta fix this shit because I need you niggas to see what's happening. I have to stop being off. How to go? Because apparently it seems like I'm not online. The fuck? But don't worry, I got some niggas who can help me out, bro. I'm looking for some shit, and I'm sucking on some dick. A nigga just trying to record. A nigga wanna go in the land. Nigga trying to go Goku like a Super Saiyan on the land. When I'm better bam, when I'm better dead man. I leave his legs crossed like a nigga dead man. What the fuck? Yeah. This I know. I got some niggas that they looking at me gunny. I got some niggas who wants to smoke with you. Oh shit, look at that. This nigga low key, bro. I thank God for YouTube tutorials, bro. Like YouTube tutorials I put on my life is the best thing that's happened to mankind, bro. It is. It's literally the best thing that has happened to mankind in the history of ever. Bro, I cannot tell you how much YouTube tutorials just have been helping a nigga out with some shit. I don't even think I'd be able to know how to stream if it weren't for YouTube, if I'm being real with you, bro. Because YouTube tutorials are just the goat, bro. Shout out to all the YouTube niggas out there who be doing tutorials and shit and helping the... Yo, shout out to the YouTube niggas who be helping niggas for free, bro. Shout out to them, bro. But a nigga just trying to, you know... Hold on, am I even live on Twitch? I might not even be live on Twitch.